morning, keep it tight.
Says Shane. Good morning, keep
Good
it tight.
morning.
Welcome to Keep It Tight.
Great start to the morning.
A great start to the morning.
Which is hard because now we're back after Easter, so it can be a tricky day.
But I don't think we'd have been having a great start to the morning if there wasn't a blue sky.
Well, Deirdre, I
blue
saw
sky.
the sky this morning, and the first person I thought of was you.
Really?
Yes.
You thought this will please her now?
I was like, this will please her. I should be delighted. Should be in. I was like, should be in flying form.
Flying
now.
form.
Yeah,
I
I knew you would
jumped
be.
out of the bed
Yeah.
and went down and bought coffees from our local coffee shop. Jumped out, no bother.
Oh yeah.
Walked down and brought
Yeah.
the coffees back up to the house, and then went back down again to look at the sea because I thought I have to see the sea when the sun is shining on
Of
it.
course.
It's
Oh,
just divine.
Oh no, me and Tommy were walking to school talking about the weather, and he's 11.
Now it is still cold.
It's still cold.
It's cold, but we don't
Yeah.
mind the cold when there's a
No,
blue sky and the
brightness.
bird song. Cheepity cheep cheep
No,
cheep.
I knew you would be high. I knew.
Yeah, so you see, it's not a joke when I say I'm looking for the house
Yes.
in Spain or whatever. It's not a joke. The
need
grey
it.
affects me badly,
Yeah.
and like
It's
that.
the French blood, you see.
Yeah, it's
That's
the
what it
French
is.
in me. Yeah,
I don't think
the
there's
Huguenots.
any. I don't think there's any bit of French in me. I think it's Irish.
I was in.
With big hips, working fields.
Do you know where I was yesterday? I was in Canterbury.
Oh yes.
Have you ever gigged in Canterbury? It was my
No.
first time.
What was it like?
Well, obviously, you know, it's so famous in your
Yes.
head between the Canterbury Tales and Canterbury Cathedral. You're like, I know this place, but of course I don't. I'd never
Yes.
been. But what I just noticed, I went to look at the cathedral in the morning because I arrived late and didn't get a chance to have a good look at it. And of course, it was closed.
Yeah.
And it said not open to tourists till 11. So, but I saw a little side door open for morning prayer. So I said, well, I'm going to have to go in for the morning prayer.
Yes.
So I had to hide my little suitcase behind the bins.
Right.
Imagine, because I thought I can't.
So I thought you were
traipse-
going to say I had to hide my gin and tonic. That's what
Emma, it was first thing in the
Suitcase is cool.
morning.
Yeah, well,
No,
hello.
I was leaving Canterbury to go back to Gatwick to get home, but I hadn't seen the cathedral. So I
Right,
got up
okay.
early to go and see it because
Yes.
I thought, you can't go to Canterbury and not fucking see the cathedral. Like, that's sacrilege. So I had to go with my little case, hide it behind somebody's bins, while I snuck in a side door. Two priests, not one but two, in long flowing robes, stopped me and said, it's not open, we're not open.
Oh.
So I said, I was just coming in for the morning prayer. And they said, okay. And they changed their tone then. and
Oh,
said, well, it's
clever.
not starting for another, 20 minutes, but you're very welcome. And straight down that way. And I snuck down and I thought,
Brilliant.
I'm in the fucking crypt. I'm in
Yeah.
the crypt. I'm below stairs now. I'm not seeing the full thing. Anyway, I had a little look at the crypt, which was magnificent. Came back up and then there was young ones, members of a choir or something had arrived. So I pretended to be a member of the choir and shuffled my way in.
Jesus Christ. Was this a
I'm-
school choir, Deirdre?
I swear to God.
I mean, you're looking great,
just-
but come
and
on to fuck.
Well, I'm small enough to hide in the middle of
Yeah,
them.
keep the head down.
I kept the head down. I kept the head down and I just went into the middle of them, pretended I was one of the choir, and so I got into the main part of the cathedral to have a look. Didn't I do well?
You did
I
very well.
love breaking the law.
Oh, yeah, little rule. And
I love
they're the
breaking
kind of
the
things
rules.
where you just go, oh, sorry, I didn't realise.
Yeah, and it's like
You
there's
have
no
your
way.
alibi straight away.
Straight away. And I was
Yeah.
thinking, there's no way I'm not seeing this cathedral. Like, I got up early to come in here. Like, there's just no
Oh,
way
well
you're
done.
stopping me.
Well
Anyway,
done.
I wasn't going to go into that. That was just, where did I get into that? Oh, I know what it was. When I was walking out, I saw a little plaque saying there's still Mass there every week in French.
Oh, okay.
Because the French Huguenots, when they were escaping France, a lot of them came to Canterbury. And there's a
Sorry,
lot of
can I
French.
just compliment you now? You gave us that information like as if you knew it before and you hadn't just looked it up while you were there. Very skilled. I love when people do that.
I didn't, because I just said to you, I read it on the sign.
No, but you
on the
said
wall.
it as if like you'd known this
I've
information
known
for
this
quite
all
a
my
while.
life. Yeah. No, but I thought
She read the script, learned her lines,
Yeah.
regurgitated them.
Yeah, so a lot of the French Huguenots went
Yes.
to England, and this is where the French in me comes from, the Huguenots.
Right. I didn't think we'd be talking about the French Huguenots on the podcast this
Yeah,
morning, but here we are. So it's a surprise.
That's it now. That's all I'm going to
Great.
say. But I just thought, that's me. They're my people. I landed here.
So a bit of culture.
Yeah, see the English grandmother and all that.
Okay, that's where it all
Do you
came
see?
from. So the English grandmother had a bit of a...
She had a bit of a go of the French, I'd say.
Yeah, fair
Of a
play to
Huguenot.
her.
One of them.
How could you not?
Anyway,
Well, one of
down
them, I
the
hope.
line.
I hope it wasn't
It's
more
there
than one.
anyway. It's in the genes. It's there.
That's great. When you were talking about that choir and sneaking in with the choir, one of the funniest things I ever saw in my life was I was in school, and I'll never see the like of it again, in school, right? And we had a special choir in our school.
Oh, yeah, we had a special choir. Were you in the special choir?
No, I was like, fuck that.
I was
I
in
have
the
to go and have a smoke. I could have been in the special choir if I wanted. I was like,
the antithesis of the choir. Fuck that, I have to go and have a smoke.
Yeah, because they did the rehearsals during lunchtime. So I was like, I'm not giving up my lunch.
Yeah, see, we didn't get a choice. You were told like,
so
you
a
can
few
sing,
of my
you're in the
mates,
choir.
a few of the non-smokers were in the special choir. And then they were constantly having to go into the hall of a special choir, going to fucking sing a few bars or something before we do this, that and the other.
I thought with your little showbiz head, you'd want to be in that special
No, your
choir.
one who did the special choir was a bit of a melt. Anyway, but I was still jealous of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was still a bit jealous of them,
yeah,
but too cool for school. Anyway, we're in the hall and obviously we'd had a little quick smoke before the special choir thing. Quick, gives a drag off that, boom, get in, you know.
Yeah.
Waltz into thought. And then I'm looking around, special choir are up at the top of the hall, and I'm looking for me mate. I'm like, where is Naomi? I was like, where's Naomi? Where's she gone? Is she gone to the toilet? Or like, oh shit, she's going to get in trouble coming in late. So anyway, what does she do? I see her. She comes in the door of the hall, and she just panics, and she looks around, and she just joins into the special choir and starts singing with the special choir, because she's like doesn't want to get caught.
She had to mingle.
She didn't know what was going on, and she's like, I'll just jump in here. Everyone's singing, fuck it. And she's like, la la la.
Yeah, proper using your.
And we're all
wits.
looking at her, pointing at her, laughing, and then she clocks all of us laughing at her sitting down, and she's like, sure, she can't get out of the thing. And then at the end of the song, I think the choir teacher said, "Oh, we found a new member in the middle of that song. Wasn't that exciting?" And she's the real type to just pull a red
new member. Did she
yeah.
have to stay then as the new member?
No, I think she sat down then. Absolutely
she
mortified. But
hilarious.
Yeah, you know, see, that's skill shite, isn't it? But
the
Canterbury sounds
choir
lovely.
was a big deal in our school.
Was it?
Ah, yeah. We were in the Pro Cathedral singing Gregorian chant of a morning.
How do you feel?
That's the pedigree that I have in me. Going into the Pro Cathedral, which I always associate as being one of those big, old, dark, quite oppressive places.
Yeah, probably
you know,
freezing
you don't walk into the Pro Cathedral and feel uplifted. You walk into the Pro Cathedral and you think, oh yes, I am a sinner. Yeah.
How do you feel about choirs?
I love a good choir.
Do you?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of shit ones, isn't there? How do you feel about the choirs where they're wearing the collegey bibs and it's a whole lot of white people singing "Oh Happy Days"? How do you feel about them ones?
I like a choir, Emma, now.
Do you? Oh, happy day, all that. Oh, happy day.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad for the clapping and the but I'm not against it. Against it.
When it's a good choir, it's good, but when it's a bad choir, it's bad.
Yeah, bad. Well, there's not loads of bad choirs going around.
Well, school choirs and stuff.
Yeah, school choirs. I suppose that depends on who the leader is. And
some of the holy songs
because everybody can sing well enough to be in a choir.
Yeah, true. If you put
Unless
them in the right spot.
Unless you are tone deaf and you're asked to mime.
Yeah. I was in the choir. I was in the church choir, though. Joined myself. That's where I got my showbiz.
So you looked down on the school choir?
I was a bit older then.
But joined the church choir? At what
I was
age
younger.
Was this?
We're talking primary school.
Oh, touch of the Whitney Houston school on
so
here. I joined the choir.
My friend Sarah Harvin was in the choir because she lived down by the church, and I was asking her about it. And she was like, then I was like, oh, what are you doing at the weekend, or what did you do at the weekend? And she's like, oh, we went bowling and Quasar. I was like, well, who? She's like, oh, it's a priest. I was like, well, what?
Sorry, did you just say bone and Quasar?
Bowling,
oh, right.
and Quasar. Do you know what that is?
Well, now that you're pointing your finger, it's a
you
gun,
have the
is
son. Did not have birthday parties, bowling and Quasar in Stillorgan?
Bowling. We went bowling, and there was a Quasar. I don't think I ever called it that. Maybe it was called something else.
No, it's been called Quasar for
Anyway, bowling
years.
and Quasar. I thought you said bowling and Quasar. I thought, okay.
No, not with the priest. Bowling and
Well,
Quasar.
it's free.
Yeah, I know.
Done before.
Bowling and Quasar. So the choir had gone with the priest. He took them all bowling Quasar. And I think they went to McDonald's afterwards.
So that's a good enough reason to
Exactly. I was like, fuck that. I'm getting on top of it. I'm
Oh,
getting into
yeah.
this. So I went and joined the choir. Never again. Because then he only was doing it with the altar servers, I think. He was taking the altar servers, bowling and Quasar. Anyway, joined the choir. Liked the choir. Pretty sure.
Did you ever get to go bowling? and
No, we never got to go bowling and Quasar. I think we did, but we did release an album. The choir
Christ. They really...
released an
Called
album.
Christ? No.
No, Christ, yeah. I don't know what it was called, but we released an album. We recorded it in my old primary school named
Yeah.
Padraig. We were there for the day.
What did you call the album?
So Emma, Doran and the choir, maybe? No, I don't know what it was called.
Anyway.
But we never saw it. I think the story was that the album got kind of shipped off to kids in America or something. Like, no one was getting paid for this. I don't know what happened to the album.
There could be kids
But-
in America hooked on your choir.
I know.
We just never heard of it.
We never heard of it. It's probably like that Celtic
Anyway.
women thing,
Yeah.
do better as a kind of an export.
Yeah, no, the choir was
That's
huge.
my choir
and-
days. Maybe I was, do you know what? Maybe I was jaded by the time I got to secondary school. I was like, I've done this choir shit before, and now there's no bowling
So
or choir.
funny. I only started in secondary school, but the secondary school in our school was taken incredibly serious. I think I told you this before. A sister Philippa,
Yeah.
she was the nun on the choir, and it was like we won prizes, we won
Okay.
medals, and we were.
Well, I
into
suppose
into
for
the Croke
her,
Cathedral to sing,
Sister Philippa.
This was her.
Yeah. Sister
Hey.
Philippa, like, she's not getting her hole, so she needs a choir.
100%.
She needs to.
100%.
She's got to take the choir very seriously.
And she did.
Yeah, because
She
she's
did.
not getting
She was
nothing.
very, very gifted musically.
Yeah, we have to keep the hands busy, don't you?
She was famous for being a bit of a weapon. There was a lot of ones
Oh,
who
yeah.
weren't in the choir said, "Oh Christ, she terrifies me. She was
Yeah.
scary." But if she liked you and you were in the choir, you got the royal treatment. If she didn't like you and you
What
weren't
was
in the
the
choir,
royal treatment from a nun? What's that?
well, I remember one day after the Pro
I was
Cathedral.
going to say so. I was going to say a lick out. That's terrible.
No,
though.
that is so awful. I'm going to pretend you didn't say it. In fact, we let it out.
We'll leave it.
We let it out.
Because if I was thinking it, somebody else was thinking it. 100%.
Jesus,
Go on.
just-
What was the gold treatment?
Anyway, yeah, so we did. We won a big prize. Don't ask me what it was,
Yeah.
but there was a big cup, and we were all in a bus, in a coach bus, and we ended up
Brilliant.
going into Jury's Hotel for chips and burgers,
okay.
and there was drinks had, not for us now. But
Yes.
she definitely was having one, and the next thing we were all on the bus going back very late, and the gates were closed, and it was dark, and I remember we all had to scale the gate.
Right, so this must
Yeah,
have
so
been
it was
a big
touch
win.
of the hills are alive and all
Yeah.
of that. Down Rathfarnham there now on Grange Road.
Good.
Scaling
There's a
that
kind
gate.
of
Do you
a-
know the gate?
It's huge.
Yeah, huge.
You just would have had to be giving people a
I
leg up.
think a couple of people went over, found
and
the
maybe
keys,
opened it.
and then
yeah. God, it's very Italian 90, that, isn't it? Only is scaling the gate to get back into the boarding school. It's
Yeah.
kind of depressing. Jesus.
But sure, we thought it was a bit of a thrill. It was
Yeah.
something different. You know, we were out. We were out.
I met somebody, speaking of your accolades, I met a woman and her sister in Spirit Store in Dundalk.
Yes.
I'll be back in Dundalk in February. Their mother was your Irish dancing teacher.
Mona Ruddy.
And they were very glamorous,
They are
Sister, very glamorous,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. They
impeccable.
yeah. Do they still teachers of the Irish dancing now?
I don't know, we were chatting about all sorts, but they were saying that their mother taught you and then they'd met you out, or they'd met you out with the mother, and she's like, there's Deirdre, and they were like,
Yeah.
she's not going to remember you. And you knew who she was straight away.
Of course.
I said, of course you remember those
Mona
people.
Ruddy. She was a legend
Yeah.
of the Irish dancing world. And she's still flying. I met her in my local coffee shop with one of the daughters. And I
That must have been it. That must have been what they were talking about, actually.
good looking family.
Yeah, yeah, very
Glamorous.
good looking, yeah.
But anyway, I think Mona's 80, flying. Like
Flying.
still involved. Do you know?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's what keeps us going, Emma. We'll never be able to stop working, love.
They looked like that kind of family, though, I could imagine.
Yeah, grafters.
Because I was like looking at these women going, what age are these
Yeah,
women?
ageless.
Yeah,
That's
that
what
kind
we
of
want.
buzz.
That's what we're chasing.
Yeah,
Um,
constantly.
grafters, workers, you know.
Yeah.
And a very respected, good school, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So there you go. That's it. You met them. You met Mona's
They're
daughters.
they're still singing your praises. Because I said to them, oh, great legs. And yeah, we all agreed. Great legs.
But I finished my Irish dancing career ended very early.
Yeah.
Because it stopped when I went to the boarding school. So I stopped at 12. I should have been going.
That's an unfortunate thing to let
kept going
go.
right the way through.
Yeah.
I know. Nobody would never come up with conversation. Nobody would say, what about the Irish dancing? Or it was just like, no, you're going to boarding school. That's that.
Off you go.
Yeah. Terrible, isn't it?
You have to tell us about your piercing.
Got my piercing.
I don't think we were
the
saying
second
that.
piercing, finally, age bloody 58.
It looks great.
Yeah.
And you said I was the only person that noticed.
Yeah, there you are now. Came home. The husband didn't notice.
No.
Not a word.
Well,
in fairness, I didn't have this one in. I only had this.
Okay.
I put them in this morning.
What do you think you'd have to pierce for your husband to notice?
That's a very personal question.
Well, depends how you answer it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm not answering.
No.
So there you
No,
go.
but they're
I'd
not
probably
great
have to have a piercing right in the middle of my nose.
Oh, Ella got the septum piercing.
She did not, did she?
She did, yeah.
Wow.
She got it. I knew she'd been talking about it for a while.
So she has a little ring.
She has a little ring. Yeah, she has a ring in there.
How does it look?
I love it because I think she's just got such a, like, I know I'm her mommy, but she's such a gorgeous symmetrical face and a great nose. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't get like nose piercings. I think I'm too long in the tooth now.
Yeah,
but I think it looks
they're
nice.
for young people,
Yeah,
definitely.
I think it looks nice. And when I see it in other people, I think it looks nice. But she got it done. But it's so
Nice.
funny how things have moved on. So she came to the door and I was like, hey, what's all this about? Whatever. And because it's kind of hidden away rather than somewhere, there's parts in your ear that you'd be catching and stuff all the time and they're
Yeah.
quite hard to heal. That's just hidden away, so it heals very well. And obviously, when you decide that you don't want it,
Yeah, go take
no
it.
one's none the wiser. But I said, oh, wait till your granda sees that.
Yeah.
Now, I know she's not their daughter, but I can only imagine if I'd rocked up to that gaff with a septum piercing, like a piercing in between my two nostrils, how my mother and my father would have reacted.
Yeah. It's a big one. That is most
Yeah.
people.
And I'm
be
sure
like,
she rocked from 1,000. They said, that's lovely. Or just went, what are you up to? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, no, totally.
So I remember
different.
going to get my, did I ever tell you about when I went to go and get my tongue pierced?
No.
Oh, Jesus. I went to go and get my tongue pierced.
Tongue piercing, I can't.
But that was a big
Can't
thing when I
fathom
was
this.
growing up, the tongue piercing.
God, we really have nothing to do.
Yeah.
That's what
We
you do.
needed
When your
the phones.
climate is this bad.
But we needed the phones. We needed
the phones have put a stop to that carry on.
the kids needed the phones because we were piercing everything.
Yeah, there's nothing to do. There is
Yeah,
nothing to
piercing
do.
your
Hanging
tongue.
around.
So people were
Looking for
piercing their
something to do.
tongues.
Yeah.
And a mate of mine had it done. And
Did you get a belly button piercing? Because they were all the rage for a while.
belly button piercing, yeah. Got the belly button done.
Got
my mother,
infected, I presume, because everybody's doing.
yeah, but it did eventually heal. But when I went for my first ultrasound with my mother, the belly button was piercing, the tattoo, and she just kind of looked up like, well, fucking here, like, do you know what I mean?
I should have known. Here's the signs.
But
Okay, go on. tell
went
us
to
about
get the tongue pierced, and it was a big thing of, my mum was like, don't get it done, whatever. I was like, I'm getting it done. I think I was 16, so legally I think you had to be 16. I was like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. I'm getting it done, whatever. Did a big fucking speech. Off I went down the road having a smoke July with myself. They wouldn't pierce it because of my veins. So he looked at my tongue and he says, no, he said, it's too risky on your tongue. It's too veiny. I'm not going to pierce it. So I had to go home and say they wouldn't pierce it. And so my mum was delighted. She's like, well, at least you went to a reputable place and blah, blah, blah.
Thrilled she was.
Thrilled. Yeah.
Too many veins.
So she won that one without doing anything. But
well
yeah, the
done.
tongue thing was a big one because obviously Mel B had it. And Pink, the singer Pink had it as well, her tongue pierced. So it was a big thing.
So
People just
once they had it, that was it.
yeah,
And
it was
they had
definitely
loads to
fashion.
do. They were busy, Pink and
Mel B?
Mel B. They had careers.
Yes.
A lot were just hanging around street corners being school kids with nothing to do.
I suppose, but they still they didn't have phones. What were they doing on those tour buses? Nothing to do.
Nothing.
Nothing to do.
God, it's just unbelievable the amount of time we spend with our heads in the phones now. Like, it's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was travelling all day yesterday and my head was in the phone all day. Now, I did read a script. I read a full script.
Oh, yeah.
On the phone, though.
Are you
Obviously.
doing something exciting?
No, I'm doing I'm taping for something.
Oh, okay. So you're reading.
So
Well,
I
yeah, still.
had to read a script, yeah. That's all.
Yeah, but you weren't doing that for pleasure.
No, it was work. It was work. But I mean, I did think by the time I got home, I thought, I've had my phone in my hand and I've had my head in this phone from the minute I left the cathedral. I left it out of my hand for the cathedral.
Yeah, yeah.
From the minute I left, just using the Google Maps even to find the train station.
Yeah,
but
I suppose it's hard when you have the Google Maps.
Checking constantly. Like, I could say 8 hours, the phone, I was in my hand, I was looking at it.
Yeah, but a travelling day is a little bit different, isn't it? I'd say cut yourself a bit of slack for that.
Well, I was thrilled I got the script read because they take a bit of time to read. Like, you're 100 pages.
Well, look, I'm never out with you in a situation where you're bed into your phone. I'm like, geez, what's the story with you on your phone? So I think you're fine.
Yeah.
We weren't on our phones much in Austria.
Let's talk about Austria. So I hope everybody was okay with the sound on our live. We were live from Austria last week.
Actually, people were saying to me when I was meeting them at gigs, oh, Deirdre got you last week. She got you good. When you said to me, yeah, that's your problem. Maybe you should have been flirting. We're all delighted with that. I was like, yeah, she did.
The pandas. But the sound was. I had to listen. I thought it was grand. I hope. I hope our listeners.
Would they allow us a little
bit of grace?
Okay,
a little bit of grace for the fact that we were up the mountains.
We were up the mountains.
You know, we didn't want to miss. You don't want to miss a week.
Yeah.
So we had a lovely time.
We had a lovely time. We did kind of go a bit hell for leather, though.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, I got used drinking in the airport fairly lively. But that wasn't my...
That didn't take long for my...
That wouldn't have happened from me. That was Shane.
Yeah.
He says, I think
we need to have a drink. Person.
Yeah, you see, once one person...
It only takes one. You go to the airport, if one person says, I'm having a pint, then you go, I'll have one as well.
Yeah, I think I'd had about 3 gin and tonics by the time I got on the flight.
Easily,
The flight was grand. Then we got on the bus.
The bus journey.
We got more drinks for
more
bus.
drink for the bus.
Yeah.
But we needed it, Emma.
We did.
Been bored of our... It'll be bored out of our minds.
Yeah. Because you'd be travelling for what? I suppose 5 hours.
Or more.
Yeah.
Like, all in with the waiting. It's the schlepping is unreal.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I was on my way back from Canterbury yesterday.
Yes.
I had a large glass of white wine with me Nando's at the airport. I was at the airport very early.
Yeah. That's why I said about the gin and tonic at the cathedral. You're like, no, it's first thing in the morning. No, but I had a large white wine at the airport.
It was lunchtime, with my lunch. Okay. A late lunch, like.
In Nando's.
Yeah, fuck it, I just thought I need something now.
I know.
This is so boring.
Yeah.
On your own in airports. Do you know what I mean? Putting in hours.
Yeah, but we went a bit hell for leather, didn't we?
Yeah.
I did.
But the snow was lovely, wasn't it? It was nice to see mountains.
The mountains were lovely. The snow was lovely. It was lovely to see people who, like Ryan Cullen, who I haven't seen in years, who I would have come up with. Kind of like me and Martin and Golo and a few others kind of would have...
Oh, did you come up with Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan might have started a little bit before me, but we would have been doing all the same gigs and, you know.
And I was very happy to see Rob, Abandonment Rob.
Oh, yeah.
He's
such a nice guy.
Just an absolute gent, isn't he?
He's so nice. We were talking about him on Thanks to Milk, but yeah, he's such a lovely guy. Yeah, he's just not a bad word to say about him.
No, and he's amazing because when he's on stage, his act is incredible. He's so sharp and he improvises the whole thing. If you don't know who he is, look up Abandon Man. He's brilliant. But you know, there'd be a fair old bit of language in it, and he's fast, and he's kind of doing this rap hip hoppy thing. You wouldn't hear him swearing off the stage. He's incredibly softly spoken and articulate. Did I say all this on Thanks a Milf? I did.
Yeah, but I think it needs to be said here as well, though.
Yeah,
but like just
so interesting,
real gentleman.
So interesting, though.
It's very rare now. I think like the only time I'd meet a gentleman, and I'm not like saying all the other fellas are fucking manky, but I'm saying like, you know, a gentleman type would be an older man
I know.
You know, like much older. And he's like, I don't know, is he my age? Yeah, he's around my
gently
age.
spoken, very interested in what you're doing, interested in talking to you. Very fluent. I like listening to
I know
him.
it sounds like the bar is incredibly low, that if we meet a man who listens to us and asks us questions, we're like, what a gentleman. But he is a gentleman.
That kind of says a lot, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. That he's courteous and asks questions and listens.
How are you doing? What's happening with you?
And you're like, what a gentleman.
What a gent. And you're not open and blind and
at such a stage where we're dedicating 2 podcast episodes to it. I can't get over it.
Yeah, can't get over it.
What a gentleman.
Can't get over it. Anyway, the highlight for me, was reconnecting with Rob, because obviously when we did the famous Sky show, Emma.
Yes.
That was lucky for you.
They gave me my ticket.
Rob was my band. The chat show that never happened again. That was sad.
Yeah, I think it was just the timing of it, wasn't it? But
I think COVID.
But you nobody would have said, let's hold off until after COVID to do it.
No, I think they needed to get it made. They had the money and they needed to get it made. But I mean, in terms of how it looked, you know, you were creating a stand-up show with the band and it was lovely, and we were in the Olympia, but we had 30 people on camera.
It'd be great.
And you're trying to kind of compete with the Live at the Apollo, which has a couple of thousand.
A pilot of that, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
Or like get a pilot done of a Deirdre O'Kane show where you do a bit of stand-up, you have a chat show, you have a musical guest on.
Yeah.
You know, like a kind of a variety show, but not fully, but you know.
Yeah, well, that started out, we were going to do sketches. That's where the weather came. You know, my famous weather sketch that went.
Because I remember at the time
viral.
Or before it or whatever, that I'd seen some posts that you were maybe doing sketches with, was it Joanne and Garode?
Yeah, I did a sketch
with
Joanne.
I was seeing this and I was like, oh, what's all this? How do I fucking get in on this? What's happening here? Now, this is years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you write sketches with Joanne and Garode?
I wrote sketches. I don't know if I'm just trying to think. We had a little writer's room for a while.
Because Garode's a great man for the fucking
ideas,
comedy.
And he's a good writer.
Yeah,
he's very diligent. He sits at the desk and does it.
I mean, apart from his on-stage stuff, but you know, the writing side of it as well.
Garode's always got something on the go, radio plays or...
Something on the go.
Yeah, he's always writing something else. That's
clever guy.
Up. Yeah.
I have to meet him for a guy. He's very funny though. But come here, tell us about doing the sketches then. Oh, so they never aired?
No, they never aired.
Yeah.
And there was like a few that were... Thank God I got to put that up on the gram. And because a little bit of me, you know, when they decide, oh no, we're not going to use the sketches, you think, oh God, maybe they're no good.
Yes.
And then eventually I got that weather sketch up, and that is the one on my page that I think has 7 million views. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, well, thank you. There's a little bit of...
A similar thing happened to me with a sketch show. Now, we're not up to the 7 million, but maybe 1 or 2 or something, where a sketch was filmed and whatever, and no, don't get it, is what I was told.
There you go.
And then I was like, well, can I have that, please? Put it up. Delighted to see it go.
Viral.
Take off.
That's nice. So we both had that experience where you're able to actually get a bit of gratification.
It's good because then it gives you the bit of confidence then in what you're doing. Because I suppose it's one thing, because I'm obviously tipping away at, you know, making little bits and bobs on my phone all the time, whatever. But then if you go and do a telly thing and a telly person tells you, no, this is going to cut the mustard, you're kind of like, oh, well, they must know. They're the telly person.
If I had your talent for lashing up the content the way you do.
Lashing it up, yeah.
Lashing up the content. I mean, I am just amazed by you and how much you...
Just second nature now.
Second nature.
Yeah.
Second nature.
I like doing it.
And you have no bother filming it. So if I was you, that character, the weather woman, I mean, interestingly, she's me. Like, there you are going this morning. I thought of you, the blue sky, and the whole genesis of that character was that she'd be saying to the people, I'm so sorry.
But it'd be very easy for you
I'm so sorry to tell you, this is going to be a shite day. And she's just devastated.
Yeah,
devastated for everyone. Imagining all the scenarios, the shit weddings, the shit christenings.
Deirdre, it'd be so easy for you to film that, because if you go into Instagram stories and you search for, you know the way there's different filters.
I need a little lesson now. You give me a little lesson.
There's a green screen filter.
Oh
So
my
you
God,
could
Emma.
film yourself with a weather map behind you.
Okay.
Very easy.
I'll have to do it.
Yeah.
I'll have to do it, yeah.
So it's not going to be, if you do it that way, it's not going to be studio standard, but it's very easy to do.
Yeah, and I don't care about it being studio standard.
No, I don't think anyone watching it does either.
Right, I'll play around later and see if I can...
Yeah.
So I go
That's how
into the Instagram stories and there's a green screen.
You
And
go
then I
in-
could just shoot myself.
You go into the Instagram stories, yeah, and
Yeah.
on the filter, in the filters, the way you have the circle where it's just,
don't.
no, but when you film an Instagram story,
Yeah.
you have the circle where it's just you. If you scroll along, there's different options.
Okay.
If you don't find it, at the end of that list of that row of options, there's a search icon. Search green screen. Do it on the green screen. And then what you can do is if you do a story...
See if Daniel can help me.
He'll be able to help you 100%. You don't have to post that story. Then what you can do is you can save that story if you need to top and tail it or whatever. And then, because I used to do a weather one, did something. I used to do. I did a TG
think I
Canada
remember.
weather one, but yeah. So I used to film some with people, but then I start using filters as well because I was like, oh no, I want to.
Yeah, and I just like this character. I
Yeah,
just
well
feel
then you
like-
should.
Yeah. When you have a character that you can talk for,
Yes.
there's no work in it.
Yeah.
just-
You
it
know
just comes.
exactly what
Just
that character would say or do
Completely.
or how they'd move. Yeah, I
completely.
know.
Remember Anne Doyle wearing the spoons and the forks from Newbridge? When Newbridge first came out, Anne Doyle was the queen of the Newbridge.
Yes.
I did a sketch with had a fork around my neck.
Oh, lovely.
I used to do her Anne Doyle.
Did you never get a new
That was sketches for the lounge. See, I've been doing sketches a long time.
sketches for the lounge or the TV
I
show?
hosted a show called The Lounge.
Fuck's
And I was down in the Laughter Lounge, a 10-part TV series written with the Zig and Zag lads. We had a ball. I hosted as a different character every single week.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was in the box office as Anne Doyle with a fork hanging around my neck.
You wouldn't get it now.
No, you wouldn't get it now.
And who else was in it?
Rich Hall, Dara O'Brien.
I was going to say,
mean,
because if it was you, just a different character every week, then getting
it
up
was
to
me
do the
as a
stand-up,
different
you in the
character
box office.
introducing. No,
Yeah,
I did. I
okay.
wrote something for the top. We wrote together.
Yes, for
Me
the top
and
of
the
the
Zig and
show.
Zag boys wrote together for the top.
Yes.
And then introduced on a couple of comics.
Well, that sounds like a
Very
great
ahead of
gig.
myself. Again, another show that didn't get a second series. I'm the queen of the one series only. queen.
But I told you I kill shows, didn't I tell you
Well,
that?
I obviously killed them too after one series.
Celebrity Ireland's First Family, gone after I did it. Obviously, Ireland, last one laughing, gone.
Gone.
But sure, who knows who's to blame for that? There was a few of us in the mix there.
Why are they not making another one? Because they've made the second English one, which I'm dying to watch, even though I've seen a lot of the reels online.
Yeah,
I'll
you see
still
so many of the
watch it.
reels, don't you?
I'll still watch it.
And
want
yeah,
to see
people
it.
are saying, it's the biggest thing on telly and da. And remember, Spiling Hot Turd
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck he said.
Whatever.
I don't know.
That's only
I
the one
haven't heard
critic.
any
We don't
West-
mind him.
Sap. I haven't heard any whispers about an Irish one. A second one.
No, I do think that a lot more people are watching ours because we've got the second successful British one. So a lot of
Yes,
people are saying,
definitely.
let's watch the Irish one now.
Yeah, because actually I thought it was just English people, but there's this girl on Instagram, she's called Megan O'Reilly. Did I ever tell you about her before? She's gas. Oh, she's fucking so funny. Anyway, sometimes she's working in a bar and there's no one in the bar. She's putting on music. Here we go. Are you ready? Go on. Anyway,
Oh, no, send me her. I like
I
people who
can't
are...
explain. You have to watch her. But she sent me a screenshot of her watching
Last one laughing.
Ireland.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's only finding it now.
Yes.
Because you think at the time when these things come out that you're hammering on about it and you're like, here I am talking about this fucking thing again. But people don't see bits.
No.
Or people just say, oh, I'm not going to look at Instagram for a week. And you're like, that's the week I was fucking telling you all about the thing I was doing.
Yeah, I never, I wouldn't think about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, for anybody who is a fan of Last One Laughing and you haven't seen the Irish one, both me and Emma are in it.
Yes. And Jason Byrne.
And Jason Byrne.
The little nana.
And Graham Norton. And a host of other fabulous
Martin
comics.
and
that you
Garlo
will-
and Tony Cantwell, Aisling B.
Yeah. Aisling
Catherine
B's
Bohart.
singing of that song on that show, for me, will be one of the funniest things I've ever seen ever in the whole of my life. Amy Huberman as well. Amy Huberman and her boobs.
Amy Huberman.
That was hysterical. Yeah.
The fucking face on Amy Huberman the whole time. The big doe eyes and her just walking around.
She's a ridiculously cute person, isn't she?
Oh
She's
my God.
like a doll.
A doll.
Literally.
And she has this kind of, well, the way she was playing it was she just kind of did this big, huge eyes, big kind of innocent face, walking around like a little,
sad
like you,
face.
a little Tinkerbell like you.
Had.
About this size.
She's half the size of me. She's half the size of me. She is
Do you
tiny.
just spend your time measuring yourself up against people?
Yeah, the old body dysmorphia. The noise of it is quite loud in the head.
Because sometimes you'll say to me, like, she's tiny. You think she's tiny? You think I'm tiny? Look at her. She's tiny. I'm like, Deirdre, that's a corpse. She's tiny. Look at her. She's tiny.
Absolutely pathetic. We've been talking for quite a long time, by the way.
Oh, we have.
But I'll finish up with saying this.
Oh?
Because I saw your reel with your niece.
Oh, yeah, with Katie Doran.
Katie, well, I thought, first of all, I howled when I saw her because she was so good.
Yeah, she's good, isn't she?
Very good at the bit of acting.
Yeah.
And so like you, and the long hair. And I just thought, oh, Jesus, she's got the showbiz gene. Oh, God, love poor Emma's brother. But anyway, I also just thought, well, we just talk about nieces for a minute, because my lovely niece, Ellie, who's also my goddaughter, is doing, wait for it, her finals, her medical finals.
Oh.
Emma, she's going to be a doctor. This is the first
your dream,
bit
Deirdre.
of respectability the O'Kanes have ever known.
Deirdre.
Honestly. We're just artists, and now...
Antibiotics on tap. Sleeping tablets. Hello.
Jeez, I didn't even think of that.
How would you not?
I don't know, because I wouldn't abuse the
power.
So
she is...
I'm so proud of her.
That's amazing.
Ellie O'Kane. And she's in the thick of the exams now.
Okay.
Any idea how hard these exams are? The work she's put in. God love her.
So she's holding this family together now.
We've all been watching her studying.
Yeah.
Since she was one of the ones who was a victim of the awful mess over the Leaving Cert. Do you remember when there was it COVID, and suddenly it was like, oh no, we're just going to give everybody this amount of points, and suddenly people at the top were kind of landed down the list.
Yeah.
Ellie was one of them, and she didn't get her first choice, and she didn't get into medicine the first time, and she had to do the Leaving again. And it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. It was like a glitch in the... Oh, it was.
I have to say, very soul-destroying. I think having to do the Leaving Cert again.
Oh no, it was horrific.
Because it's such
an
exam.
She was an A student, like a top student who'd already worked her ass off. So it was horrendous. It was like, oh my God, she's not going to get her first or second or third choice. They just demoted her, while other people were pushed up and got what they wanted. It was hard.
So she had to go back
listen. She's there. She's nearly there. Now she said not till the 23rd. She won't actually be finished. But she's written exams that have gone from 8:30 till 5:30. Imagine writing.
Yeah.
8:30 till 5:30.
Oh, you'd be aching.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Great for her.
With her. And it came into my head as well because I started to watch The Pit.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen this?
No, I've seen lots of talk about it, but I haven't.
Lots of talk about it. So, whatever. Me and Steve find it very hard to agree on a TV show.
Yeah.
Very divided. We like different things. But he said, well, we look at The Pit. And I thought, yeah. So watch the first episode of The Pit. And it reminded me that really Ellie got into medicine because of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yes. I remember you saying this.
She started watching Grey's Anatomy as a 13, 14-year-old. And what a show. Oh, my God, what a show. Because you were into McDreamy immediately. Episode 1. Yeah. Now, The Pit, I've only watched one episode, and I'll keep going.
Who's the big star in The Pit?
Noah Wiley, is that his name?
Oh,
I wouldn't have even known his name.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry, he was one of my heartthrobs when I was growing up. He was in ER.
Oh, was he in ER?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's med-sing again.
I know exactly who that man is.
I didn't know this. Yeah. So he was a young fella on ER, and now
he was in ER with George Clooney.
That's unusual.
So they were the two kind of hot doctors.
Okay. It's all making sense to me now.
And he would have been like, when you think about it now, I would have been buying like Smash Hits magazine when I was like 15. and be cutting out pictures of him.
Wow.
Like, he had to be in his 30s. Why were they putting him in a teenage girls magazine? Anyway.
You didn't notice ages when you were that age. He was just a star. He was just a TV star.
But you wouldn't get away with it now. But yeah, I was mad from him.
Well, I was mad from McDreamy.
As a mature woman.
Well, obviously, seeing as I'm old as tea, I've been a mature woman
but I'm saying,
for a long time.
No, but like Grey's Anatomy came out, 20 years ago?
I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Ellie's...
So even I would have been a woman
Ellie's
if I was
like
fancying someone in that.
23, so it can't be that long. 13, she
But
would have been watching it.
But it's never been off the telly.
It's only 10 years. It's only 10.
Oh, yeah. And it's never been off the telly, really.
No.
Yeah. That's great
it's
for
still
her.
going. Anyway, there you go. I'll stick with the pit. Episode 1 was very frenetic. It didn't quite have the same grab that Grey's Anatomy had. What Grey's Anatomy did on episode 1 was it started a love story immediately. And you were invested immediately. But anyway, I know I like these characters. I'm particularly loving the older actress, the blonde one. She's in her 50s and I've seen her. She's come up on my page loads as she just thought she was done. She was 50. She got cancer. I can't remember which kind.
Oh, yes. I've seen her being interviewed and I know her because I would have seen her in lots of things.
Yeah.
But yes, I actually just saw that clip there last week or something.
Yeah, so she was in her 50s. She's like been a steady working actor her whole life, like on high grade stuff. But you know, there's a lot of actors who just never break through to become a name, a household name, but they are steadily working on big shows and she's one of them.
Yeah.
But now she's getting her moment to be, you know, a star. And she said, oh my God, she had just given up. She was so down on herself. She was like, she hadn't worked for 2 years. Honestly, Emma, who would be an actor? It's so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord, it's relentless.
I don't know how to
talk about that again. Oh, stop. My child just gone into it. Oh, it's just a constant cycle of high, low, high, low, high, low.
Yeah.
Anyway, you just have to find a way to deal with it. But she thought she was done. And between the cancer and 2 years of no work, she thought, you know.
Enough is enough.
And along came the pit and she got her Emmy nomination and whatever else.
Yeah.
But also, she's so glamorous. She looks a bit like Grace Kelly.
Yes, she does.
Stunning.
She has that look, yeah.
And in the pit, she's just there with, you know, the no makeup. Obviously, they're working in a hospital and they're wrecked. But her red carpet look is like, wow. There you go. So it's inspiring, isn't it? Because she's in her 50s. We like
maybe
to
that'll
hear.
give me hope.
Jesus Christ, said the queen of content over there who's flying. You couldn't be flying any higher.
Well, I've lots of tickets.
Maybe that'll give me hope.
Can I say I've loads of tickets to sell now?
Well, go on, do a little sell your tickets. I'll do some of mine.
I don't think we've been on since. I've added loads of new UK ones.
Okay,
going back to places, going to new places like Sheffield, Manchester, back to Newcastle. I added the Palladium.
Emma, this
We're
is
going to have to try and give that a push.
Are you excited about that?
I'm very excited. Not excited yet because we need to sell it.
Well,
but I am excited.
What's the date of it?
I think it's in February. I think it's the 27th of February, something like that. I've more Vicar Streets and my Edinburgh Fringe is up as well. So
very good. So is my
no
Edinburgh
excuses.
Fringe.
Is it up? Yeah.
By the way, you and I haven't discussed. Are we going to do a Keep It Tight live in Edinburgh? We should.
I'm sure we should.
The weekend there. Yeah, well, we better talk to our people.
Yeah, and see if they can organise something for us. So,
I enjoyed the last one.
So if you ever tell me that you can't get tickets to see me, you're a fucking lying scumbag because there's loads of tickets there now.
So you heard it here. You're a lying scumbag. Courtesy of Emma, just on the follow of the lovely gentleman that is Rob of Abandoned Man. People who don't come to see me are lying scumbags. Let's just get that clear. And so are the ones who don't come to see me.
Yeah, of course.
So I need to talk about Berlin. I can't shift tickets in Berlin. Whatever's going on.
What's happening in Berlin?
I don't know. I haven't managed to reach the diaspora. Okay. I've obviously made a hames of it.
It's just that they don't know. So if there's anyone listening here who's in Berlin, has a few contacts there, could you pass on the word?
It's April 25th in the Coliseum. Right. I've sold more tickets in Oslo than I have in Berlin. How is that possible? I mean, who's in Oslo?
We need to tap into the Irish community group or something in Berlin. If anyone has a few contacts there.
I'll get on that today. But anyway, so Oslo is May 7th, Amsterdam May 8th, Copenhagen May 15th, and my last show of O'Kane is in Ballinasloe On the 29th of May. And then I'm done. And all the
What a way
rage
to finish
is
it.
on sale.
All the rage is on sale.
All the rage is on sale. Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, all the dates are on me. DeirdreO'Kane.net. Okay.
Everyone
So
comes to
thank you to everybody for all the gifts this morning for the
Yes.
AG1. Thank you, Kathy. Catherine,
nice.
thank you to the gorgeous woman, Sharon, who left us in. The buzzballs and the gin, always welcome. And thank you for joining us. Keep it tight.
Keep it tight.